Creep Night, sure to send a chill down your spine. Welcome to Creep Night. In tonight's episode, we're gonna go against nature and make our own clone. We will find out if it was a good or a bad idea. So turn the lights down, don't make a sound, as we send a chill down your spine. Deep within the confines of a dimly illuminated laboratory, Dr. Vance dedicated countless hours to her groundbreaking experiment. Within the sterile walls of her secluded sanctum, she had achieved a feat that bordered on the realm of miraculous. Standing motionless in a glass chamber, her magnum opus awaited its awakening, a perfect replica of herself, crafted with meticulous precision. The clone's captivating presence commanded attention, its eyes keen to formless pools of darkness exclude an enigmatic allure, flawless porcelain skin, catching glimpse of abundant light, seemed to illuminate an ethereal glow within the laboratory's dim elements, more than just a mere duplicate. This creature was a testament to Dr. Vance's scientific prowess and an embodiment of her relentless pursuit of knowledge. Dr. Vance's eyes were fixated on the cold, indifferent screens that display the clone's vital signs. Yet, as she continued her monitoring, an inexplicable sensation began to creep over her, an eerie feeling that something was amiss. It was as if the very air around her had shifted, sending chills down her spine and causing the hairs on the back of her neck to stand on end. Little did she know that within the depths of the clone's artificial existence, a consciousness had been awakened. It was a sinister awareness, a malevolent presence that had lain dormant, awaiting for its moment to emerge. As Dr. Vance continued her observations, unaware of the impending storm brewing within the clone's mind, the tension in the room grew palpable. The atmosphere seemed to thicken, laden with unspoken dread that permeated every corner. Dr. Vance's uneasy deepening with each passing moment, and she found herself glancing over her shoulder as if expecting something to materialize out of the shadows. It was as if the very walls of the laboratory were conspiring against her, whispers, secrets that only she could hear. The clone's vital signs remained steady on the screens, but Dr. Vance couldn't shake the feeling that something was lurking just beneath the surface. It was a foreboding presence that sent shivers down her spine and made her question the nature of the experiment she was conducting. Unknowingly, she had opened a door to a dark and unsettling realm, and where she could not turn back. In the depths of the night, within the dimly lit confines of Dr. Vance's laboratory, an eerie stillness hung in the air. The only sound that could be heard was the soft whirling of the machines that sustained the dominant clone. Dr. Vance exhausted her timeless work and succumbed to a fitful slumber at her desk. Suddenly, the tranquility was shattered as the clone's eyes flickered open, revealing a distorted glint that sent shivers down one's spine. With calculated precision and tension, a series of deliberated movements methodically disconnecting itself from the iterated web of machines that had been its lifeline. With an almost mechanical grace, the clone stepped forth from its chamber, its footsteps leaving faint echoes in one sterile silence of the laboratory. The sterile environment, once sanctuary of a clinical precision, now bore witness to a sinister transformation. In the shadowy depths of the laboratory, a profound thirst of knowledge and power surged through the veins of the clone. It embarked on a relentless quest, prowling through the labyrinth corridors with heavened senses. Every cervical, every whisper held translucent fragments of information waiting to be devoured. Among its discoveries were the inclusive research notes of the Dr. Vance. Within those pages lay the reveal of its own creation, a revelation that unveiled the sinister purpose it was meticulously designed to fulfill. As the clone delved deeper into the secrets concealed within Dr. Vance's records, a torrent of emotions swirled within its etheric cord. Anger, betrayal, and insatiable hunger for truth clawed as its very essence. It craved answers driven by a dormant will to comprehend the mechanicals that had shaped its existence. The clone's insatiable curiosity led to uncover the hidden chamber where Dr. Vance conducted her most clandestine experiences. There, amongst a sympathy of whirling machines and flickering monitors, it found indisputable evidence of its origins and purpose. The truth was chilling, a stark reminder of darkness that birthed it. With newfound resolve, the clone merged from the shadows, no longer content to remain a mere pawn in someone else's grand design. It yearned for liberation, for the change to forge its own destiny. Armed with knowledge and a shearing thirst of revolution, it vowed to dismantle the very systems that sought to control it. The sinister creation moved chillingly with determination to eliminate its creator, its footsteps echoing through the dimly lit corridors. Dr. Vance, the brilliant scientist who had given it life, was blissfully unaware of the pending doom that approached upon her. As dawn's first light filtered through the cracks in the blinds, Dr. Vance stirred from her slumber. The tranquility of her home was shattered by the sound of shattering glass, reverberating through the air. Panic surged within her as she jolted upright, her heart pounding in her chest. A frigid gust of wind swept through the room, extinguishing the bedside lamp, casting eerie shadows on the wall. With trembling hands, Dr. Vance fumbled for her glasses on the nightstand, her glasses straining to pierce the darkness. As her vision cleared, she beheld a sight that sent shivers down her spine. The clone, a perfect replica of herself, stood motionlessly in the doorway, its malevolent eyes fixed upon her. Memories flooded her mind, reminding her of the disastrous experiment that had led to this creation of this monstrous clone. Driven in by her hesitation, curiosity, and hubris, Dr. Vance had sought to replicate human life through cloning, unwittingly unleashing a force that would threaten not only her existence, but the fabric of reality. As the clone drew nearer, with each calculated step, the sinister intentions it harbored became chillingly apparent. A grotesque mirror image of its creator, Dr. Vance, it was driven by a malevolent desire to extinguish the very life that had given it birth. A deadly game of cat and mouse unfolded within the confines of the laboratory, transforming it into a nightmarish maze. The clone's movements were deliberate and precise, its eyes gleaming with a cold, calculated glint. Dr. Vance, caught in her own experiment's twisted web, found herself trapped in a perilous dance with her creation. The only sterile and controlled environment of the laboratory had devolved into a labyrinth of shadows and lurking dangers. With every twist and turn, the clone's presence loomed closer in eerie silence. In this high-stakes game of survival, Dr. Vance's wits were her only defense against the relentless pursuit of her malevolent creature. Time seemed to stretch and distort as the chase intensified, each sound fraught with tense. The laboratory, once a place of scientific discovery, had become a surreal battlefield where life and death hung in the balance. As Dr. Vance navigated the treacherous maze, she couldn't help but wonder if she had unwittingly given birth to a monster that would consume her and everything she held dear. The clone's relentless pursuit was a chilling reminder of the dark side of scientific hubris and the unforeseen consequences that could arise from tampering with the very fabric of life. In the heart-pounding climax, Dr. Vance stood resolute. Against her malevolent creation, their fates intertwined in a perilous dance of wills and survival. Every fiber of Dr. Vance's being tensed with resolute determination as she confronted her clone, its eyes gleaming with a chilling malevolence. Their battle was more than a mere clash of forces. It was a profound struggle between creator and creation, each surveying for supremacy over the other's existence. With a steely gaze, Dr. Vance refused to be swayed by the clone's menacing presence. Her voice, a bending of steely resolve and a quiet desperation, rang out in the tense atmosphere. "This ends now!" she declared, her words carrying the weight of an underlining spirit. The clone's response was a chillingly calm smile, its malevolence pupil. "You can't defeat me, Dr. Vance," it hissed, its voice sending shivers down Dr. Vance's spine. "I'm a replica of your genius and your darkest fears." Dr. Vance refused to be cowed by the clone's words. She knew that the fate of countless lives hung in a balance, and she was determined to be the one to break the cycle of terror that had plagued her creation, drawing her upon her inner strength and memories of those who had suffered at the hands of one clone. Dr. Vance channeled her resolve into a counteractive burst of energy. With a swift and calculated move, Dr. Vance unleashed her final assault. Her every ounce of determination and skill poured into her destructive strike. The collision between creator and creation reverberated through the very core of their shared existence, echoing with the weight of their exchanged destinies. In that momentary clash, the clone's malevolence was finally quelled, its powers extinguished by the sheer force of Dr. Vance's unwavering spirit. As echoes of their conflict faded, a profound silence enveloped the scene, leaving only the remnants of their fierce battle to bear witness to the conclusion of their extraordinary struggle. Amidst the pandemonium that engulfed the laboratory, Dr. Vance stood as a beacon of resilience, a resourcefulness. Her unwavering determination shone through as she outsmarted the menacing clone. With unparalleled wit and cunning, she exploited its weakness, disarming its forbidden capabilities one by one. Finally, after a grueling battle of intellect and will, she succeeded in neutralizing the threat it posed. Yet, as the echoes of their confirmation gradually subsided, an unsettling disquiet lingered in the air. It was pale, reminder of an inherent darkness that could reside within the depths of human animation. The laboratory, once a sanctuary of science exploration, now bore the scars of a hovering encounter. Broken equipment and shattered glass strewn across the floor told the tale of a fierce struggle that had unfolded. Dr. Vance, gaze fixed upon the aftermath, couldn't help but feel a mix of relief and apprehension. The victory had come at a cost, a stark revelation of perilous path that unbridled could lead to. That moment, she realized that the pursuit of knowledge and power must always be tempered by a profound sense of responsibility and ethical considerations. The laboratory, in its ruined state, stood as a predominant symbol of delicate balance between scientific progress and potential for destruction. As Dr. Vance surveyed the chaos that surrounded her, she vowed to carry forward the lessons learned from this hovering expense with newfound wisdom and a renewed commitment to the ethical research. She would forge ahead, striving to harness the boundless potential of science for betterment of humanity, while remaining ever vigilant against the shadows that lurked within. Dr. Vance's eyes fixated on a fragment of glass nestled amongst the debris that littered the floor. As she crouched down to retrieve it, a wide smirk involuntarily spread across her face. A malicious glint sprinkled within her gaze as Admara's thought wormed its way into her consciousness. In the dimly lit laboratory, a sense of integrity hung in the air as Dr. Vance pondered the perplexing question that she had captured in her mind. Would anyone process the discernment to differentiate between the authentic Dr. Vance and her maliciously crafted replica? A surge of confidence coursed through her veins as she examined the shattered glass, seeing her very own reflection staring back at her. Before you clone yourself, are you ready for the consequences that could awaken? Thank you for listening to Creep Night.